Welcome back. I'm joined by two local mayors, Connor Martin of East Hartford and Arunan Arulampalam of Hartford, and they are here together to talk about some big news involving both your communities. Mayor Arulampalam, would you like to start?
Yeah, Connor and I have had conversations. We both got elected the same day, almost exactly a year
Correct,
ago.
yeah. We've had you both on within weeks, yeah.
When I got sworn in by council, he came over from East Hartford. We sat down in my brand new office and we talked about ways we can work together. And we've had a number of conversations around things like, can we share some services together? Can we have folks who are working on both ends of the river and for Hartford and East Hartford within our town governments? Can we share some contracts? We're buying some of the same stuff, procuring some of the same goods and services. Can we create economies of scale that create better services for both of our residents and help us save a few dollars? And then, when we talk about the vision of our region, can we plan that out together? The economic development that happens on the Hartford side impacts East Hartford and vice versa. Right. We can talk about housing or transportation. It's just things that make sense working together on. And this has obviously come up in the past, and I think that many past leaders feel like the political capital has been too much of a cost, but we're coming up with some common sense solutions to work together on this and to bridge our towns together.
So Mayor Martin, what kind of things are we talking about?
So I think just piggybacking on that, acknowledging that Hartford and East Hartford are not very different communities. Although different in size, we have very similar demographics, we have very similar needs, and our desire was how can we eliminate the river, the border, as a reason for why we can't work together. And so what we've established are 3 separate task forces that are going to look at not only shared services, but shared tourism for the effort of how do we better leverage our riverfront to create a destination that this capital region becomes known for. But as Arunan mentioned, shared vision, right? Why does East Hartford have to be the pass-through to both Boston or to New York City? Why can't East Hartford, the capital region, be the true premier destination that Connecticut becomes known for? Instead of being the pass-through, we're the place you must stop at to get all the things that you're getting from these other great cities. And really just having that relationship with Arunan, and what I appreciate about Mayor Arunan is it's the open-mindedness. It's not looking at, well, this is mine, this is yours. We can only work on each side of our own borders. It's let's be open-minded. Let's stop just the talking about it and actually take the steps to see how can we actually work together and what can we achieve when we do work together.
Do you see perhaps combining police departments or school departments, or is it just wide open right now?
We've been talking through my COO and Connor's CAO and coming up with a list of positions. We're working with our directors. Right. We want to come up with real practical solutions, and so everything's on the table, but we want to lay this out in a way that just makes sense and that's additive. So we're looking at places where there's vacancies and there's capacity on the other side of the river. We're going to start combining some of those. We're working on some of the forward-facing planning pieces of it, and we'll ramp up and figure out what else that encompasses over time. But we want to try to put together some real wins within the next 6 to 8 months.
How much money do you expect to save taxpayers? Because that's what everyone's going to wonder about.
Sure. And it's not only about the tax savings, but it's duplicating, mitigating duplicative efforts or duplicated services, providing our residents with better services. We definitely know that taxes for both of our communities is the #1 priority for our residents, and so we don't quite know what the savings are going to be. But as you mentioned, is police and fire on the table? Absolutely. So is engineering, building and inspections, purchasing, technology. I think we have to explore all areas, because if we don't, we may miss an area where we can find some savings, or as I mentioned, just simply providing residents with a better, higher level quality of service. So it's not all about savings, but savings is definitely a #1 priority for us when we look at opportunities for partnership.
Do you see this as a model for the state? Because, people have often said if you started the United States of America right now and you drew out the maps, nobody would say, Connecticut, you're going to have 169 towns and, Houston will be the size of you. I mean, 6 towns might be 1 city.
Well, I say all the time, we are really the center of a region of 1.2 million people here in the Hartford area, and the decisions we make in Hartford impact all 1.2 million people. Yeah. And so if we're making those in a silo, we're doing a disservice to ourselves. We're also doing a disservice to the whole region. And as we announced this task force, I said if we're successful, I think this will have the biggest impact on the trajectory of the Hartford region for the next 50 to 100 years. Our growth, our vibrancy, our ability to build this destination city between New York and Boston that really drives people, and we both believe that this will be the destination city for Connecticut. But we've got to work together to do that. We've got to partner, and we've got to see ourselves as one.
And I know you can't say right now, but like down the road, do you see it as maybe just being 1 city?
So I think that's
Because people are going to ask that question.
Yeah, and I think we have to explore our areas. But going back to what you said, we don't want this to come off as exclusive just to Hartford and East Hartford.
Yeah.
East Hartford and Hartford have just made the effort to be a leader in this and wanted to signal to really any other municipality that you should be able to take part in this too. You should want to explore it with us. But does one day it become one Hartford? I don't know. I'm not sure if we'll ever get there, but at the end of the day, we're going to figure out ways that we can better partner and try to eliminate, once again, a border or even just having different names, East Hartford, Hartford, as a reason for why we can't work together.
And in the short term, too, we hope to put together real proposals within 6 to 8 months. We're moving really aggressively on this. Our hope is that we can show that there's a benefit on both sides of the river here. And it's not an ask for Hartford. It is a benefit to all of our residents. And after we do that, we're going to open it up and see if other municipalities want to join us in that effort.
Does this project have a name?
We've said that we're creating a joint task force of shared services.
Yeah.
That's exciting, and Gary.
I think
We'll work on it among the recommendations in 6 months.
Let's talk about, because one of the big developments that will impact both of your communities is the I-84, I-91, reconfiguring of that interchange. What would you like to see done?
No, so I think you're talking about the Greater Hartford Mobility Study, which affects both Hartford and East Hartford almost equally, whether it's removing our mixed master or capping 91 so that Hartford can regain access to their riverfront. It goes back to what Arunan said. It doesn't matter what we do on the east of the river or on the Hartford side of it. Everything we do should go through the lens of how can we complement each other? How can we provide both economic development, leisure, entertainment for both of our residents, not just exclusive to East Hartford or Hartford. And I think with everything we're doing on Founders Plaza, everything that's going to take place in the Greater Hartford Mobility Study will affect and benefit both cities equally. So whether it's improving transportation, giving access to the riverfront, there is no barrier or no reason for why each resident can't go across the river to enjoy what each city has to offer.
And that question is one of many reasons that we're doing this. We don't want to be fighting each other for the next 20 years for federal transportation dollars. It helps both of our towns if we plan transportation collectively and work to find the same dollars. Traffic doesn't stop at the Hartford line magically. It doesn't stop at the East Hartford line. What we do in our individual towns impacts both. We're so interconnected already. If we don't plan these things in an interconnected way, then we arrive at a worse solution down the road.
And I think with that, with the Greater Hartford Mobility Study, coming into it, working with DOT and our federal partners with one voice, one unified vision, only helps make sure that both cities get what they need. And that's just the approach we're going to start taking.
Well, they said the best views of Hartford are actually from East Hartford. You cross the river and take a picture of the city.
I was telling him as he builds up
right
that
here was taken
riverfront.
from this picture here was taken from East Hartford.
I tell Connor as he builds up that riverfront, he better put some rooftop restaurants there because he's got the best view of our skyline.
There you go. Connor Martin and Arunan, Arulampalam. We appreciate you being in the program. Mayors of East Hartford and Hartford, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck with this.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Long time in
Dennis.
coming.